Hey guys, welcome back to Mad About Skin, and welcome to our, I think this is our fourth live, I lose track, I'm going to say fourth live, so welcome guys, we're just going to wait for the room to fill up with some people. I've started a couple of minutes early, which is almost unheard of for me. I'm normally so late to these things, so actually started early, so as a result, people are thinking we're probably starting at 6:05, so we'll just give a couple of minutes for people to join. But how is everybody? How is Friday treating you? Hi Daniel, welcome to the chat. How are things with you? It's been it's been a bit on the miserable side. If you can look out the window here in the UK, it's not all that weather-wise. I was expecting it to be like really summery because it's been gorgeous recently, but now it's just like, and I got wet 4 or 5 times today going to the shops. So yeah, thank you for waiting, Daniel. Thank you for joining, Jenny. Welcome. How are you? Filling up nicely now, so welcome everybody. Oh, Daniel, that sounds lame. That sounds really. But keeping busy, which is the main thing. Hi, Green as Rule. How are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining, everybody. So, how's everyone's Friday treating us? Hi, Tom. I am wonderful, thank you. Today, other than the weather being a bit, we've been in, but it's the middle of June, and I've put the heating on today. And to be fair, I don't really need a reason to put the heating on, but it's been so cold, and I've got wet twice. So I thought, no, put the heating on. No expense spared. I want to be warm. Hi, Laura. Welcome, guys. So I was just trying to think. I think this is probably like the fourth live that we've done. I lose track. But welcome everybody. Welcome. If we've got any questions, start sending them through. Otherwise, we could talk about whatever in the world you want. I do actually have a face mask today. I was toying with doing the Dr. Jar, one of their rubber masks, but then I realised that actually I put one on yesterday, and I realised just how terrifyingly scary they look. Like, it's full rubberized, and you can't really talk in them, so I realised it's probably not the best thing to do. So I'm going to use what I've been promising to use for weeks, and this is the Detox and Brighten Clay Mask by Simple. So you leave this on for... It says leave on for 15 to 20 minutes. So I'll leave it 20. We'll do 20. I'll leave it on for 20 minutes and apply this one sort of in house. Let's have a look. Jenny said, I went for a long walk and the weather's cool. Yeah, the weather's absolutely freezing here in the UK, and I don't know why. I was expecting summer. I really wanted summer. Yeah, John says sweater in June. Yeah, I really didn't think I'd be wearing a big bulky sweater in June, but here we are. We got all the glamour of living in the UK. Yeah. Oh, Daniel says, bye Blemish versus the Mario Badescu one. So, if you guys haven't seen my video from this morning, you probably already have, but I did a comparison of the Mario Badescu drying lotion with the Kate Somerville Eradicate blemish treatment. And my go-to is the Kate Somerville, but I think the one drawback is it is quite expensive. Here in the UK, it's 22 or 24 pounds, so it's quite expensive. In the US, it's not quite like for like maybe about $25. So it's not for like a drugstore budget. So the Mario Badescu, which is a little bit cheaper, I just really don't like. I think the main reason I don't like Mario Badescu, aside from the brand and me hating the brand, and I'd say probably the drying lotion is the best of the products they have to offer from the line, which isn't saying much, but isn't that bad. The reason I don't go for the Mario Badescu one is the talc in it. It is just so drying. And what you want a drying lotion to do is dry the zit, but not like totally remove all traces of moisture from it, so it actually impairs the healing. So I think Bye Bye Blemish, Daniel, is actually a really good option if you don't want to push to the Eradicate by Kate Somerville, which I think is the best on the market, hands down. If you don't want to push to that because it's really expensive, then I think the Bye Bye Blemish is a much better option than the Mario Badescu. I have had this little zit here for 2 days now, but the Eradicate has really taken it down. If you look, if you're sad and you want to look at my zit, you can look at yesterday's videos, because I tend to film 1 day in advance. So you look at yesterday's videos, and definitely a lot of redness, a lot of zit action happening. You look at now, it's noticeably smaller. So it really does work. And I am a big fan of blemish lotions, and the Bye Bye Blemish is way better than Mario Badescu, hands down. Andrea says, how are you? Hi, Andrea. Yeah, we're just talking. It's cold, it's a bit wet, it's a bit miserable. We're livening up with a chat, and we're going to get some skincare questions going, and it'll all be well. Oh, Jenny says, what do I think of synthetic growth factors? Are they cancer causing? Yeah, so there's a lot of, I'm not too sure on it. Does it work? Does it not work? I'm not too sure. With synthetic growth factors, epidermal growth factors, anything like that, I tend to steer clear. And the only reason is I don't think there's going to be a lot of science which comes out of this to say it is cancer causing or whatever. But there's enough science out there that to say be cautious that I just tend to give it a little bit of a miss till the testing has come on. When it's properly tested, thoroughly tested, and people are actually know exactly what they're getting, then I'm all on board with it. And I think the results can be great from them. I just think there's too many potential side effects that haven't been explored yet. So I tend to stay away from them. This is why I always say if you look at the Inky list, they do a vitamin C with epidermal growth factors, they do one without. I always go for the one without. I don't think we need it in our lives, and I think the science isn't fully tested yet. Laura says, first live chat ever with anyone. Laura, welcome. Which means this is the best live chat you have ever attended. I mean, there's no comparison. It might be the worst after you've seen a few more. But at the moment, I'm hoping this is the best live chat you've ever seen, if it is the only one. So Jenny says, I've got a sample size of the Drunken Elephant Protein and noticed there's growth factors in it. There is. I'm not a huge fan of that product generally. I don't think it does a right lot. I've tried it. People rave about it. So I thought, well, I'm going to give it a go. I tried it. And as with a lot of Drunk Elephant products, it just didn't really live up to the hype. Not terrible, but I don't think lived up to the hype. So I personally, if you've got it for a sample and you want to try it, I mean, one try isn't going to cause any long-term damage. I don't think you'll particularly like the product. So try it, because actually you probably think, do you know what? It's not worth me buying anyway. Debate closed, because you might not like the product. I certainly didn't. Daniel says, will sunscreen help 13 skin with anti-aging in the long run? Yes. You can never ever. Sunscreen, doesn't matter your age. I find it baffling with sunscreen that we have like babies, newborn babies, and we are religious in our application of sunscreen. It's like the factor 30. I remember my mother chasing me around the beach where I never wanted sunscreen on because it feels horrible. You get sand all over you. But my mother literally chasing me down, forcing factor 50 sunscreen on me like every half an hour on the half hour. And yet, there was something we get to like 10, 12, 13, whatever, and it just stops and nobody cares anymore and we don't do it anymore. And then suddenly we pick it up in our 40s because we panic that we're aging, by which time it's too late to do anything. Always, always, always apply a sunscreen. I don't care whether you're like 4 years old, 13, 24, 40, 80, it doesn't matter. It is so much better to prevent the damage than try. Have I ever heard or used of the Apothecary skin products? No, I haven't. That's a really good question. I haven't heard of them. Have you got any recommendations and things that I should try from that line? Let me know. Just have a sip of my tea. By the way, I bought these mugs the other day and they've got seagulls on, and I love seagulls. So that's just a sad fact. I don't know where I was going with that, but they've got seagulls on and I love seagulls, so one of my favourite birds. So no, I haven't tried the Apothecary skin products. If you've got any recommendations, let me know, because I'm always open to trying new brands and products. Tom says, do we have the boxed wine ready? I do actually have a box of suspiciously frothy when it comes out of the tap rosé wine in the fridge cooling. So later this evening, when I'm not live and have to be all together and composed, I will be cracking into said box wine. At the moment, I've got a tea on the go, which actually isn't a very nice tea, so, but, you know, it'll do the job. It keeps me warm. Dominique says, hi Dominique, welcome, and hope you're enjoying the chat. Eve says, what is the best moisturiser for oily skin that I can get in the UK? So with two things. If you've got oily skin, question whether you need a moisturiser, or is the SPF that you're using actually moisturising enough? So that's the first thing I would say. Don't feel like you have to have a moisturiser. I always think most people should have a moisturiser, but if you're very oily, you might find that actually the SPF is moisturising enough and you don't need the added benefits of the moisturiser. If you feel that you do, go something super lightweight. If you're feeling really bougie, you can go for the Peter Thomas Roth, do like a cloud cream. That is beautiful. I absolutely love that product, but it's very expensive. More of like a dupe would be that Neutrogena Hydra Boost. I love that. I go on and on and on about it, but I think it's really a nice, lightweight, barely noticeable sunscreen, which moisturizer, which is what you want if you're greasy. So check that one out. If you are I don't know, if you're feeling like you want to go for something with a bit of treatment in to really help, maybe some of the oil, the Effaclar range by La Roche-Posay is fantastic, and they do a oil-free moisturizer in that range that also has a little bit of a few active ingredients in that are going to help with zits, blemishes, and fading some dark spots. So I'd say one of those three, depends on what your price point is. La Roche-Posay Effaclar is fantastic. Hydro Boost Day to Day if you're just wanting a drugstore alternative, or the Peter Thomas Roth if you're feeling bougie and you have cash to burn. Let's have a look. Oh, Daniel says the CeraVe one really, really good for oily skin. So yeah, Daniel, really good shout out. I love that moisturizer. Antonio says, I'm living for this. Oh, thank you. Well, come and live with us. Enjoy, come join, crack open a box of wine, a glass of wine if you're feeling particularly classy, or get a cup of tea like me, whichever you fancy, come and join us. Andrew says it's been it's been cold and wet here and had to get the warm pajamas out. Do you know what? I am a pajama, whatever day of the year it is. I think there's just something lovely and luxurious about getting changed and ready for bed. And it could be the height of summer, and I have different pajamas for summer. But I love something about the coziness of. I complain because it's wet and miserable out here, but I've got the heating on, I've got a jumper on, and I feel great. As long as I'm inside and don't have to go out, I'm fine. Laura says, have I tried Hada Labo? I have. I haven't tried properly because I got loads of samples sent to me, but they were literally just like samples. And I used them. I loved them. However, it's really hard to get here in the UK for some reason. And you can get it. You definitely can get it, but it's really hard to get. And also, I found that when I do, it tends to be in and out of stock, and I like to make sure a product line is like properly in stock, so like if I love it, I can keep using it. So I do want to try more out because I was really impressed with the samples, but I don't think from like one or two applications you can really tell if anything's doing anything to your skin. So I'm gonna try it more long term. But yeah, like I definitely. Do you have any recommendations for products that you like from them? Because I loved what I tried. Dominic says, I'm using the Inculus Retinol and I've got dry fine lines around the eye area now. Should I stop putting it there or should I just continue since this is the beginning phase? Oh, really good question. So Dominic, I would say if you are finding it's particularly drying around the eye area, that's not uncommon because actually we have far fewer oil glands here than the rest of our skin. What I would do is keep using it as normal on the rest of your face, but maybe do every other application in that area. There you're still getting the benefits because ultimately you're going to have to break through that dry phase and just get through it and get to the other side where you've got the beautiful skin waiting for you. But if it is a little uncomfortable, you feel it's too drying, I just use every other application in that area and go for a full application on the rest of the face. That way you're kind of halving the amount of dryness you're likely to get. Hope that helps. When is the Ultra Sunscreen coming? It is well, possibly. I've got a list of videos that I'm filming and things that I'm testing at the moment. So tomorrow we're going over to France tomorrow, and there's some gorgeous products. Everyone knows I love La Roche-Posay, so that's definitely going to feature in there. But there's also some really good French. The only thing that disappoints me about French skincare in general is it's really hard to find cruelty-free options in France. They kind of don't do, because their brands are really established and a lot of the products were formulated and created in the 60s where animal testing was just a standard. And it was really the only option back then. So I don't blame them. A lot of them haven't really done any reformulation and required new testing. And so it's quite hard to find a cruelty-free option in France. So that was a bit of a shame. But I've also got my best sheet mask. So someone asked about my favourite sheet masks. And I usually go for a application mask just because I find it a little bit easier, but I do like for like a spa treatment, I love a sheet mask. So I'm doing my 5 favourite sheet masks. Then we are coming to the Ultra Sunscreen, which I've been trying probably for about a week. I like to give it 2 weeks because I want to see if it breaks me out or if I have a reaction to it, and that takes like 2 weeks usually. So I'm going to give it, so look out for it probably in the next week, but I can't give an exact date down. Let's have a look. Jenny says, have I received the Purito serum? I have. I'm wearing it now. I'm reserving my thoughts because I'm not going to give anything away till I've done a full 2 weeks on it. But after the full 2 weeks, I'll give you a little spoiler that it hasn't dented my opinion of Purito, which is still sky high, and I love that brand. So if that gives you a little bit of a sneaky peek into what I think of it, but I'm going to give it a full 2 week wear test, and then you'll hear all about it. I'm going to continue answering the questions, but if you haven't already, smash that like button wherever it is. There's a big thumbs up button because that really helps this video and the channel in general. So if you haven't already, if you give us a thumbs up, even on live stream, that would be absolutely fantastic. Well, we've got Danny says, can I do a review of the Simply Pure Hydrating Serum? Do you know what? I love Simple. Well, no, let me get this right. I loved a few things from the Simple review that I did, but I kept it to just within this line, which is the Detox and Brighten sort of line. But I was more impressed than I thought I was going to be. And so I am definitely going to look at more Simple products. Now, the thing I was planning a whole simple video, and then Hiram uploaded one, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be that person that always looks like. It's quite difficult because obviously you've got your own plans and your own like filming schedule, and I kind of have to buy the products. You have to try the products. It's quite you can't just think of something on the day and throw together a video, if that makes sense. So I've been thinking about doing a full simple review because you guys really like the line that I did on this simple line, doing a full simple review. Then I just Hiram uploaded one like yesterday or the day before, which actually was a really good video. And you know, I should be saying it's all about this channel, but actually I like to plug others as well, even massive YouTubers like Hiram. It's a really good video on that simple. If you try go and see his thoughts on it. So it kind of looks like I'm just kind of copying, and it's really sad that you always get comments, and I think this is just the nature of some things. I always get comments on videos, and I've noticed similar comments on other male YouTube skincare YouTubers. They always end up getting compared to each other and like accused of copying the other person. So someone the other day was like, your intro's just like James Welch's, is it? I don't know. Yeah, and I looked and I compared. I was like, it's nothing like. So I said to the person that left the comment, I was like, oh, how? Because it's kind of different words to me. Oh, well, it's just really upbeat, and I was like, well, you're not going to do an intro that's really miserable and morose, are you? I mean, it's not going to make what people. It's going to be upbeat, and so I think it's a sad fact that we always end up getting compared to other male. And don't get me wrong, I would love to be compared to Hiram and have his following and have his support. So that would be a dream, but you always end up getting compared. So I pushed back my review of some of the simple stuff that I was going to do for a little bit of time to kind of let that settle. So I don't. It doesn't look like we kind of like copying, if that makes sense. So I pushed that back, but it is coming. I'm going to do a full simple product review. I've tested most of the products now, so that is coming and is in the works. Laura says, Daniel, I've tried the Ultrist sunscreen. It's got very good filters. And it doesn't really set. It's got a huge following for the really good quality of the ingredients that goes in. So the sun protection that you get from it is supposed to be like unparalleled and really fantastic. But I have heard some people say it doesn't sink in the same way. The reason I love the Purito Comfort Water so much is because literally you put it on, gone. You forget you're even wearing it, and it's like it's the only sunscreen I've ever worn that makes me feel like I'm not wearing sunscreen. And I haven't heard the same about the Ultrist. I have been trying it. I'll give you a little tea. It's definitely not as barely there as the Purito, but for the price point, I don't think it's that bad, and it does sink in. And so I'm going to try it out with over a longer period of time. Laura says we have a European herring gull that comes into our garden every day. That's really sweet. I live by this. Literally, you can see the sea from my garden, and so I'm all about the seagulls and any gulls, and I think they're great. They do nick your chips if you're trying to have fish and chips on the beach. It's a nightmare. Sorry, the class of drinking. I always think it's horrible to see people eating and drinking on TV, but like I've got the heating on, my voice will get dry if I don't have a tea, so excuse me for that. So Daniel says around the Ultra sunscreen after 20 minutes it sinks in. I think I found that. I think it does sink in. The Ultra sunscreen is not for you if you want to slap it on, then do a full face, a full drag of makeup look, and then walk out the door. It's probably not going to be for you because I do think it's one of those that has to settle. That's okay in a sunscreen because you're supposed to put it on for 20 minutes and kind of let it do its work, especially with the chemical sunscreen, or you want it to do its work. So it's not that bad, but if you want to put the sunscreen on and then do a full face of makeup and then go out the door, I think you're really looking at the likes of the Purito or the Event is really good. Their ones sink in like that, and you can literally apply your foundation straight afterwards. Where's our four-legged friend? Jenny, funny you should ask. So Sterling is sat in his bed beside me here. He is asleep and he's sulking because he had a haircut today and he really didn't like it. And basically in the UK, I don't know how it is for things are slowly starting to reopen, and so the dog groomer that comes around and does the grooming comes around in the van, does all of the grooming in the back of the van, and then drops your dog back off. I said, open for business, it's fine. We do it's like social distancing or whatever. She comes, she picks him up, and we don't really interact, and it's all very safe and hygienic. I am desperate for haircuts. I was literally going to say to her, if I like hop on all fours and woof, would you mind if I just get in the back of the van and you could do me a full grooming session as well? Because his hair looks far better than mine, so I'm very jealous. But he hates going to the groomers, so he's sulking with me, and he's here, but the chances of him making an appearance are nil, because he'll probably not forgive me for the next, well, till it's meal time in about 2 hours, then he'll probably forgive me. And Marcel is somewhere. I got a delivery from Amazon, and anyone who's got a cat will understand this. Got a delivery from Amazon, pulled out all amazing stuff from Amazon, not interested. The like packing paper or whatever that's in there in the box, he's all over that. So he's in a box about the Neroli clarifying toner with vitamin C and green tea and pumpkin. Oh, this is from the other brand. That's really interesting. I love green tea in skincare products. I think it's because I love matcha. I don't know if anyone's. I went to Japan and I fell in love, and matcha is just like my heaven. And not that like flavored crap. The actual proper matcha green tea is like my favorite drinks. I love green tea and things. So thank you, Nikita. I'm going to try that. The clarifying toner and the green tea. I always watch these videos back, not because I'm narcissistic and want to see me talk for an hour, but because to look at all the chat and things. So I'll make a note to buy that and try it out, because anything with green tea is a-okay with me. I love it as an ingredient. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Andrea said, I'm getting in my pajamas just makes me feel relaxed and enjoy the evenings more. It's true. I genuinely think if you should, I see people like just getting from clothing to bed. I'm like, no, make it a ritual. My evening skincare is like my hobby. And that might be sad and that might be tragic, but I like to have like the 30 minutes where you could do your skincare, you can put your pajamas on, you can sink into bed and watch some trash TV. I'm all about, I'm really sad on it. I've got Netflix, and basically I got Netflix way after everybody else. And at the moment I'm watching some like documentaries from American like unsolved cold case like murder files thing. I don't know why. It's only like 40 minutes. What I love about American TV, like documentaries, is they're only ever like 40 minutes because they cram so many adverts that we don't really have here in the UK. So it's only 40 minutes, so you don't have to invest huge amounts of time, and they get straight to the point. So I'm loving like cold case murder stories at the moment, which is really weird. So leave me a comment with what your Netflix recommendations are, because I probably need to mix that up a bit. So Helena says, what does hyaluronic acid do for our skin? That's a really good question. So hyaluronic acid is one of those things that's been around for a while, but like took off 4 years ago, and then since then it's just been in every skincare product going, to the point where like you have to actively avoid it if you don't want it in your life. It's a humectant, so it works by trapping and absorbing water. It absorbs on average 4 times its own weight in water. And so by having it in the skin, it's holding water in the skin, which then the cells can then use to become hydrated and for energy, and to support general turnover and strength. So it is really good as a basic humectant, which means it draws water to the skin. I would say with hyaluronic acid, it equally can dry the skin in the wrong environment. So if you put hyaluronic acid on the skin, it will draw moisture to it. However, where something is super dry, so I'm talking like on a plane, if you're on a plane where the air is practically desert-like in how dry it is, it will actually leach water out of the skin into it, so it kind of acts as a balancing agent for moisturizer. So you've got to be really careful. I definitely wouldn't use hyaluronic acid on a plane, and I wouldn't use it if I lived in like the Nevada desert or it was super hot and humid, because actually you can end up drying your skin out more, which I know is quite a hard concept to get your head around, but it is great for most times, especially like here in the UK, fine year round. In the east of the US, be fine. But in really hot summers, I actually avoid it because it can actually cause drying, if that makes sense. Let's have a look. Fania says, hello, welcome to the chat. Anyone that's joined us, welcome. We are just chatting. Grab yourself a box of wine, a glass of whatever you like, a soft drink, a tea, whatever, and come and chat with us if you're new. So Dominique says, do I work on location or do I have to work from home? I'm working from home. It is really, I do go to the office every so often, which is literally like 10 minutes down the road. So there is no complaints. I do lab work over in the office, and here I just do catching up on things, and it's reasonably flexible, so I really don't mind working from home. I'm kind of into my quarantine routine, and when I actually have to go back to work full time, I will be devastated. The animals will be devastated, and I don't know what I'll do. It's so nice being. I kind of have this weird. People are always like, "Oh, do a day in the life routine, like vlog." Nobody's interested in that. My life is so dull. Like, I love it, but nobody wants to sit and watch it. I get up, I do my skincare, I walk the dogs, I look after the animals, I do that kind of thing. And then I sort the upload out for whatever I'm uploading that day, and then kind of just do some actual work, then answer some messages on YouTube, and it kind of just is a bit piecemeal. So when people are like, "Oh, do a vlog of your day in the life," honestly, it would be 20 minutes of the most boring footage you've ever seen. The only exciting things that happen is if I have someone over. I've seen a friend this evening for drinks. Well, you could do drinks in the garden. So here in the UK, you're allowed to sit 2 meters apart or how 6 feet apart or whatever in a garden and have a chat. So we arranged that. It started raining. Fortunately, he's got one of these like gazebo awning things, so we're going to sit under that, which I still think counts as outside and is within the rules. But it's quite a flashy gazebo. So I don't have to worry about getting a taxi or anything, so it's ideal. So that is about as exciting as my life's getting today. Um, oh, Tom says my lips have been very dry lately. I've been avoiding the lip area with glycolic acid, retinol, vitamin C. But the Cicaplast Repair Balm isn't helping. That's really unusual because that balm, honestly, I went skiing in Whistler over in Canada for 2 weeks, and I actually thought my lips might fall off. And I put that balm on, and within 3 days, it was like that. Just worked. It was fantastic. So it's unusual that it doesn't work, but I would say, with just as a general, I'll come on to like my recommendations in a minute, but just in general, if you find you're getting a lot of people say, what products can I take onto the lip area? You've got to be really careful because the lips do tend to dry out more than other areas on the face, so you've got to bear that in mind. But I would say, just you could take any product onto your lips with the exception of retinol. Retinol will just dry. Oh, you just don't want to go near your lips with retinol. It's just not a good idea. Glycolic acid is absolutely fine. A lot of people recommend glycolic acid because it will actually like exfoliate the lip and get rid of some of that dead skin, which makes makeup, we can make lipstick go on better, but just generally it is quite good for the lips. So you can take glycolic acid onto the skin. The rest of it I'd just be a little bit mindful of and work with how dry your lips are. If the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm isn't working, there's two things you can try. There is a Cicaplast Balm actual they call it for lèvres, which is for the lips, which is more of like an occlusive sort of oil based version. I think it's £5 here in the UK, so it'll be about 10 Canadian dollars or something over in Canada where you are, Tom. That I would give it a go because I usually say the balm is absolutely fine for 90% of the people. The one that's specifically for lips is just a little bit more occlusive, and it sounds to me like what you need is something to just trap the water, prevent any transepidermal water loss, trap the water in there, and allow the skin to sort of repair from within. So you might find that one is slightly better and slightly more hydrating. So check that out. I know it sounds a bit weird because I do normally say to people, don't bother buying that. It's fine, just use the cream. But if it's not working for you, I think it'll be because you need that more occlusivity. And what it'll do is just put a balm, a barrier on the skin. It's really easy. You can pop it in your pocket or in your bag or whatever, so you can apply it as often as you need during the day. And I would apply it literally as soon as it feels like you haven't got any more on the lips, put it on, and within 2 days you should see that the hydration levels go up and Matt Randon is in the chat. Hi Matt, how are you? He says, loving the consistent I'm with uploading. Oh, thank you, that's so sweet. Oh, he says I'm a hard worker. Do you know what? I'd love to say I'm a hard worker. I actually enjoy this too much to call it work, but thank you very much. And so, hope 5k is to 5k soon. Oh, fingers crossed. I remember when I did my first, like, yeah, I've got 500 subscribers video, and it seems like ages ago away, and it really wasn't. It was like in March. And it's just snowballed since then. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's just really, really nice when you enjoy doing something. Like this channel is like a hobby for me, and I absolutely love it. It's really nice that something kind of it happens and people really appreciate what you're doing. And I was saying that some people were saying they were talking about this channel on their like skincare Facebook group the other day. I was like, oh, that's really nice, and the lovely messages that people get. I always think like it must be really hard for people. You get messages all the time on on YouTube, and I always leave, if you ever want a joke, like just read through some of the messages on the videos, because I always leave all the messages up, because I think even if someone leaves you a hate comment, A, leave it up there for other people to see because it's quite nice. You get some gorgeous comments, and then you'll get some troll coming along with a boring video. And I always like to leave a sassy comment. I was like, well, no one's making you watch. Oh, I'll look forward to seeing the expert content that's on your channel. I always click on that to see what their channel is, just out of like interest. Yes, if you want to if you have your own skincare channel or your own channel and you want to get a free view out of me, leave a hate comment because I always click on to see sort of what the hateful competition is. And it's just really funny, and you take it on the chin. But I do understand how like you put loads of effort in, and people are either you get so many 90% of the comments are absolutely gorgeous, and then you get someone going like, I think you're copying James somebody. I think you're doing this. And I'm thinking, boring. Move on. Nothing to see here. So it is really nice, and I think it's really nice to have how supportive like the skincare community is. Like you guys are all fantastic, and you got people like Matt Randon who's on the chat now and who is amazing. His channel, you probably already check it out because it is amazing, but it's just so lovely and is so supportive. And I feel like, you know, we support each other, and we've got some other really great, and James Just Now is another really great male skincare YouTuber, and he's really supportive. And it's just a really nice community. And I think you hear things on the news, well, on the news, it's not, I haven't found that at all. Everyone has been so kind, so lovely, and so really welcoming. It's just been lovely. So Matt, thank you very much. And if you haven't checked his channel out, you need to. It's amazing. Phineas says, what do I think about CeraVe brand? Well, I did a review of CeraVe cleansers, so check that out as like a starter. I am going to do the whole brand, basically do the whole brand step by step, but there's just so many products that I can't do well, if I did do just a CeraVe like video, it would probably be like 2 hours long. So I'm breaking it up. I've done the cleansers, check that out. I'd say I liked them. I have an issue with them not being cruelty free because I kind of think we're in 2020 and they could move towards that. I'll show some interest in moving towards that, but they don't. But the results speak for themselves, and the results are amazing, and they do genuinely not dry the skin, and they genuinely support the barrier function of skin, and I'm all about that. So I love the brand. There's some things I would change. I'd snazz up their packaging a little bit. I think sexing up their packaging wouldn't go amiss, and I'd work towards a cruelty-free future if I was them. But other than that, I think they're a fantastic brand, and what I've tried so far I've loved, and I really love that they tell you which skin type the product is for. There's quite a few companies out there, just as a side note, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, that say there's no such thing as skin type. So Drunk Elephant started this with the founder of Drunk Elephant, so there's no such thing as skin types. Well, there clearly is. I mean, any dermatologist will tell you there definitely is such things as skin types, and anyone that's a grease slick like me will definitely tell you I have an oily skin type, and I don't need anyone to tell me that there's no such thing as skin type. And CeraVe are really good at pitching a product to a skin type, so you kind of know what you're buying and you don't have to trial and error. So yeah, I love CeraVe. I think they're absolutely great. Jenny says, with her dad, don't like the groomers. I'm taking both of mine on Monday, but I hate it. Yeah, I don't know. I would literally, I was willing to get into that dog groomer's van and have an all over like poodle cut. I don't care. I just want a haircut. So I don't understand why dogs don't want to have the joy of the haircut when I've literally had this is like a 3-month grow out. It's tragic. I am seeing my mom in a little bit, in a couple of weeks time, and she is a hairdresser, so she'll be tackling the issue free of charge. But so it's even better. Let's have a look. Oh, Laura says, what do I mix the Ordinary's powder with? So this is the vitamin C, the L-ascorbic acid powder with. I mix it with my. It costs £4, so it's dirt cheap, and why not? It's easy to buy because I kind of just buy them together because you're on the website anyway. And I do think it's easy when a company says mix a product with this product. Usually it's for marketing because they want you to buy both products. But with The Ordinary, I think they're genuinely on it when it comes to that sort of honest approach. You can mix it with any moisturizer you want. I just always am a little bit careful because there's things get snuck into moisturizers that you don't expect to be there. A really good example is quite a lot of them have niacinamide in now. Niacinamide's a great ingredient, but if you mix it with high strength vitamin C, it can increase sensitivity in the skin. So I just be really careful, and I'd stick with the natural moisturizing factors by The Ordinary. There's no reason not to use that. I love that product, and I think it's great. So try that out. Otherwise, you can actually use it with like the Cicaplast balm that we spoke about earlier on the channel if you want a very thick cream that's going to hydrate at the same time. And just make sure, all I say is whatever moisturizer you mix it with, go on the back and make sure that it doesn't have niacinamide in. It's not going to destroy your skin if you mix vitamin C and niacinamide like some people think it's going to, but it can, the chemical reaction happens, it creates niacin, which can be an irritant to the skin, so just be careful with that. Let's have a look. Have I watched The Making of a Murderer on Netflix? I really want to. I'm worried, like, it's a great recommendation, Tom. I'm just worried that I'll get too much into, like, I don't want, if anyone looks at my browse history on Netflix, I don't want you to just be like serial killer dramas, because then they'll get the wrong impression. So trying to broaden it out, but I do really want to watch The Making of a Murderer, because my brother watched it and said it is spooky, yeah, really insightful, really, just an amazing series. But everything they do on my problem with Netflix is I start watching a series thinking, I'll watch one of these because it's not going to be that great. I'll just watch one, and then I get hooked, and then I binge watch the whole thing, and then I get nothing done, and life just like passes by, and I think, you know, I'm 12 episodes into Tiger King, and I think, oh, where did the day go? Which I actually really enjoyed Tiger King. I just feel so sorry for any American people that are on the chat. I feel so sorry that I do worry that British people think that that is America, and it definitely isn't. I've been to the States many times. I've done loads of different states, and I've loved everything. I just look and think, oh, I think Netflix need to do a nice American drama to offset that, because I hate to think that that's what people think anyone from like the middle part of America is like, because I know. Jenny's recommendation is Animal Kingdom season 4. I so want to watch that. I really, really, really want to. I love an animal program. Serial killers and animals. Apparently that's my bag. Rebecca, welcome. You finally made it to the chat. Yes, Rebecca's on the chat. If you haven't checked out her channel, she does some really good. Well, I think it's supposed to say more makeup, but which is really good if you like that sort of look. But I was also trying out a really interesting serum at the moment, which I'm kind of living for seeing some of the results, because I love. I wish I did this more on my channel. And I should do this. I'm in charge. I could do this more, but like when you do day by day tests, I just keep forgetting to film, so when you can see like the results day by day is like a time lapse, so it's really good at that. So check Rebecca's channel out if you haven't already. And Helena says, what do I think about the Vichy hyaluronic acid and caffeine? Is it better than the organic? I don't know. Ooh, Vichy is appearing in my Best of France video, and just as a little side, the hyaluronic acid with caffeine is as well. I love hyaluronic acid. I just think hyaluronic acid is a little bit boring because everybody does it. Every line has hyaluronic acid, and it is a bit dull. It's kind of been there, done that, dull. But people are really innovating with it, and Vichy have added caffeine to theirs. Now, I love caffeine under the eye because it really wakes the skin up. But the same thing works for the whole of the skin. It just gives that skin, gets that lymphatic drainage going, reduces any inflammation, and just gives that skin a really fresh look. So caffeine all over the skin in the right quantity is actually really good. And Vichy hyaluronic acid and caffeine is a really, really good product. I've only ever used samples of it, but you don't need to use it to, you know, the ingredients are going to work. So hyaluronic acid, fantastic. Caffeine, fantastic. Yeah, I really like it. Do you need to spend Vichy prices? No, you could just get a normal hyaluronic acid, but I do think the addition of caffeine is a really nice touch. Dominique says she has to go to work full time again next week. That sucks. It's that awful feeling where we're in lockdown and everyone's complaining about lockdown. Then the realization that you have to go back to work, and it's like, oh, I think I was kind of enjoying lockdown. So it's a little bit. I'm lucky in that work is slowly ramping up, so I'm kind of not noticing the transition from not to going to full time. I think it'll just happen gradually. So I'm quite lucky like that. So Andrea says The Haunted Hill House for suspense and psychological thriller. Do you know what? I love my phobia though is sustained moderate peril. So I don't mind full on shock, fear or peril. It's when there's that sustained level of moderate peril throughout something that it builds up and it really creeps me out, and I end up having to turn it off. And it's like one of my my 3 phobias are that sustained moderate peril, bath mats, which I just hate bath mats, and especially when they're wet and so. Oh no, and cockroaches. So that's my 3 fears. So sustained moderate peril, I like the idea, but I end up having to turn programs off because a thriller sounds great, and then I turn it on and it's just a little bit too thrilling for me, if that makes sense. Let's have a look. Jenny says, I'm so glad I visited Canada. She's in Victoria for 2 years, and both her sisters in Vancouver now. It's beautiful. It is. I love Canada. I love doing my best of Canada. I'm going to do a plug for a video. Check out my best of Canada skincare video if you haven't already. I love Canada. The people were so lovely. The food was amazing, and it's just like it was. I went skiing, so obviously it was a bit distorted because the food was very much like après ski, where everything was very much high carb, high energy, but really delicious. And the people were lovely, and the skiing was sensational. So if you haven't been to Canada and you like skiing, go to Canada skiing because I loved it. Have I tried the Iliant Ceramide Auto Concentrate Cream? It's around £17 for 200 mils and I find it amazing. No, Laura, I have not, but I love a recommendation, so I will buy it because that's a really good price point. I think like now one of the benefits, I'll go off on a bit of a tangent again here. One of the benefits is we've been monetized now for a month on the channel, and so our revenue coin is coming in, which is really, really good because I always pledge to give half of it to charity, which we're doing. And currently, like, oh, it's no big secret. Like for a month when you start off, you sometimes like, I don't know how much people think they're gonna earn. You know, I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm not in my penthouse mansion yet. But we always said we give half to charity. And in the first month, we cleared over $200, which I was really impressed with. And I think it was fantastic. And when it actually comes through, because there's always a delay in these things coming through, when it comes through, I'm going to cut the check for $100 to go to charity. And the rest is really good money because it can just go into a little slush fund, which I can then buy products like the one Laura's just recommended. And it just means I can try even more products. And what I really love is gifting stuff away. So if I buy a product and I try it and think, oh, that's quite nice, but it kind of doesn't work with my skin, on the condition that they give me a full 2-week wear test. So they can have a free product on the condition that they report back after 2 weeks on what they're finding were. That's kind of the condition. So actually, it's really good. I can try so many more products. So Laura, I'm going to put that on order because that sounds amazing. Oh, I forgot. I am way behind. I talk too much. I'm way behind with questions. I keep going. Jenny said, oh, Jenny is also a fan of that product. So there you go. 2 recommendations. I'm on it. I'll buy it. Jenny says, there are always going to be negative people out there. I know. I just think wasting your time doesn't interest me. Move on. Wasting your time. I just think it's really sad that, you know, somebody can leave a comment on, you know, one of my videos and it's like, oh, you copied someone, or, you know, this is boring or whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. It's like water off a duck's back. Really doesn't matter. You're wasting your time. Move on. Who cares? But I do feel it's really bad because those people invest their time in being angry and hating and all of this. And like, what is the point? And also, there are people out there with that's not the same approach I have. You know, for many reasons, they might have underlying mental health issues, or they might just be in a really like bad time in their lives, and that one comment can be the difference between someone feeling great about themselves and someone really hating themselves. And so whilst I laugh it off and think if someone can leave any hate, do you know what, a comment's a comment. I live by the mantra that as long as someone's paying attention to me, I don't care. Hate is still attention, so it's all good. But a lot of people don't have that mentality, and I'm not sure I will always have that. You know, you don't know where you're going to be in your life, and you could have like be in a more dark period in your life, and that comment can be the thing that pushes you over or just damages your self-esteem. So I just don't get people that leave hateful comments. I would always say, you know, hopefully after this video everyone will leave, not you don't have to leave it on my comment on my channel, just leave it on anyone's channel, just leave a nice comment, because I always think, you know, I do this as a hobby, but some creators spend hours and hours and hours on content, and then some Poindexter leaves a little comment, you know, keyboard warrior, this is boring, I don't like this, and I'm like, don't watch it then. So yeah, I wish there's more love in the world. But Jenny, you are always kind, supportive, and fantastic, as is everyone on this chat. So I do actually just want to say a big thank you to everyone for the support, because you know, I love this and I'd keep going. If I had one viewer a day, I would keep going. But there is definitely something about your channel growing every single week that makes you just want to continue and create content, and I'm loving it. So thank you all so much. What do I think? Oh, Suzanne says, what do I think about the finer? Yes. So, yes, I think alternatives. This is another version of things like Bakuchiol is as a retinol alternative. I prefer using the natural source because I think you get a better result. So vitamin C, I don't think there is any synthetic vitamin C that lives up to vitamin C as an ingredient. So I usually say stick with the ingredient if your skin can tolerate it. You said in your message, Susanna, that you pores are more visible after a vitamin C. That's quite unusual, but it's not unheard of. And what that is it's obviously the vitamin C goes in and it does do its work, and it can take off the top layer of the grime and things that are in the pore, which then allows the under pore to oxidize, which is when you end up getting a blackhead, if that makes sense. It takes the plug off, which can then lead to the oxidation of the things below. You say you're using vitamin C in the evening. You can use it in the morning or the evening. I would say use it in the morning, because what will happen is it'll provide some antioxidant protection, which is fantastic, but also you'll find that your skin will just be able to dispel some of the dirt in the grime a little bit easier, and then you'll do a thorough cleanse in the evening, which will then pull it out further. So I personally would use my vitamin C in the morning. Try that before you start switching to another product. Try your vitamin C in the morning, and I think you'll see some of that enlarged pores and that blackhead action kind of go away. I hope that helps. Noah has a video idea. Which vitamins in skincare do I think are most important? Oh, yes, an A to Z of vitamins. That is actually, I don't know why I was going to make a note, but I haven't got a pen and paper, but I watched this back and make a note. Yes, watch out for an A to Z of vitamins, because I think that's a really, really good idea, and I can't believe I haven't done that before. So yeah, I find with videos on this channel, I have two different types of subscriber, which is really, it's one thing you don't realize when you start a YouTube channel is how YouTube works in the background, and it's all baffling and it's like a full learning curve. I have two types of subscribers and viewers: those that literally just love the content and will watch any video, but even if it's not necessarily applicable to them, just because they want either the information or they like the channel and want to support the channel, which those are my top tier people that I love. But also there's quite a few people that either dip in and out of things which are interesting to them, or that they might skip one video because it doesn't apply to them, and that's great. This is the beauty of YouTube. You don't have to watch every video. You pick and choose what you want. And so I'm trying to find a balance of, if you look at the content, and this is no secret, but what my strategy kind of is to have a couple of chatty videos every week where, not necessarily meant to be hard hitting and factual or anything. It's just a bit of fun, and then doing single product reviews, which actually people search for and kind of stumble across, and then introduces them to the channel. And also those videos like the one I just did, like the Blemish lotions, are kind of a hybrid of the two, and that vitamins A to Z vitamins have been really, really good as like a hybrid of the two. So I really look forward to filming that, and thank you very much for the suggestion. That is great. Let's have a look. Jenny raises a really good question. I'm going to have a sip of tea today. It's gone cold, but it moisturizes the vocal cords. Will I be trying the hair care products by the Inky List? Well, first of all, with this mop sat on top of my head, I don't think I'm in any position to be talking about hair care. Literally, a haircut would be a start. But I love. There's this great battle in dermatology of where the skin stops. So for some reason, in dermatology, you do the face, you do the body, and then the scalp, which, let's be honest, is skin. It has follicles, it has slightly different, it's a different sort of skin, but there's no real meaningful difference. It seems to be someone else's department. We don't touch it. And it seems a bit bizarre. So yes, I am going to be reviewing the Inky List hair care products, because I'm thinking not as hair, because I'm not into hair as such. I'm not a hairdresser. I'm not a licensed hairdresser or anything like that. So I don't know about the actual hair trichologist, however you say it. That I can't give advice on the cuticle structure or damaged dry hair or anything like that. But definitely the scalp is a key part of the skin and the function that the skin over our whole body works. We lose a lot of heat from our head, so the scalp is fantastic in regulating our body's heat and things like that. So yeah, I am going to be trying them. I'm particularly interested in their salicylic acid one, because anyone with dandruff always goes straight to like the Head and Shoulders full strength stripping the scalp thing. Actually using something like a salicylic acid can actually be really beneficial, particularly if you have very greasy hair. So yeah, I am trying them. I've got them. I haven't started on them yet, to be honest. I'm going to wait for a haircut and then I'm actually going to try them. But yes, I'm very excited to try them. Let's have a look. Rob, do you think it's more accurate to refer to skin conditions rather than skin types? Oh, that's a really good question. So I said that I hate the idea that there's no such thing as skin types. There is definitely skin types. I think it's all a bit nuanced. This is a really good question, because a lot of people say skin type to your skin. So you might have super oily skin, but also have eczema, that is actually possible. A lot of people think, no, you have to have dry skin to have eczema. No, you can have it. And also you can have very different skin. You might have eczema on the elbow, but super oily on the face. It doesn't necessarily follow that you have to. So I like to strip it out as I think you should definitely know your skin type. That is the basis. What is your skin type? And accept that it changes over time. So just because you're oily in your 20s doesn't mean you necessarily will be in your 30s. So know what your current skin type is. So stick with that. And then beyond that, work out if you have any underlying skin conditions, because you really need to be taking the two in tandem and working out, which is why it's super complex. And I always say, if you have what I class as basic skin, which is a simple skin type with no underlying skin conditions, then this sort of channel, it'll be great for you and you can take these recommendations. If you have underlying skin conditions such as psoriasis, dermatitis, rosacea, you can still absolutely use what we're saying on these sort of channels. And I do videos specific to those conditions as well. But you might want to just think extra hard about, don't just take an off the shelf dry skin routine and say, well, that's great, I have dermatitis, but it's fine because I'm dry skinned. You might want to take that and just make sure that it all fits in with your skin condition. So yeah, I think it's a two-pronged approach. Everyone's skin's unique, but definitely there are skin types. And when I hear people say there's no such thing as a skin type, rubbish. There's also skin issues which sit separately to that. Have I ever dealt with, Pink Flamingo says, have I ever dealt with acne? Oh, yes, acne is the bane of my life. I still deal with acne. Acne is sort of two-pronged. People see it as, I would say I'm an acne sufferer, but I might have 2 pimples on the go at once. And some people in their teens would be like, ugh, drama queen, says he's got acne, he's got 2 pimples, that's how the acne. And it's not, it's a dipemic thing. So if you have a face full of acne, for example, that's very clearly acne. Someone like myself that maybe has a maximum 5 pimples, but constant, I've constantly got to be on top of the breakouts and the oil in my skin, that's where I would say I have adult acne. It flares up sometimes if I use a product that really disagrees with me, it becomes really apparent. Sometimes I actually might go days without a pimple, so it depends. But yeah, I've always dealt with acne. It was particularly bad in my teens, got better in my 20s, and then reappeared a little bit late 20s, early 30s. This is the best my skin's ever been, and I think it's because I've really got my skincare routine nailed. And I'm just going to pop my face mask on while I still chat to you guys, because I've got about 20 minutes of questions still left to ask. I'm using here, what have we got here? This is the Detox and Brighten Clay Mask. Now, I love this. This was one of the star finds from the Simple Detox range. I generally didn't like some of their products and I love some others. Check out the whole video if you haven't, but this was a standout product. And it's got a really good concentration of vitamin C in, because I feel the tingle, which I love. It's got antioxidants in, which is great because you are leaving it on. So I think I think a mask is a good place to have antioxidants. This is not the sexiest look. I appreciate that. But if you've got a face mask on, let me know which one you're wearing. If you haven't, why not? Box wine and face masks go beautifully together, so pop one on. So, with face mask on, I really like that one. I've been using it on and off. This is great. This is like the Freddy Krueger, put your glasses on over the top of it. I do really like this one. It's got kaolin, it's got bentonite clay, which is really good if you've got oily skin like me. It just draws out everything. It's got niacinamide in. This is where I say niacinamide creeps into everything. Be careful, because this has niacinamide, which is great for my skin, but you don't want to, you want to be a little bit careful. And it has got a little bit of vitamin C in as well, which again is fine, because you can absolutely mix it with niacinamide. Just be a bit careful. But I love that one. It's vaguely gritty, so I put it on. I don't rub because I don't like that. Denise says, I loved your niacinamide video and then looked up every ingredient, every product I have for it in an ingredient. So I mean, be really careful. This mask has niacinamide in. Who'd have think face mask would have it in? But yeah, be really careful, because if you haven't already, check out that niacinamide video. But just be really careful, because it appears in everything, and overdoing niacinamide can actually cause breakouts. So it can have the opposite effect to what you want it to have, which I explained in the video, but just be a little bit careful. Just as a shout out, we're going to keep going till we've answered all the questions, do not worry. But if you haven't already, click the thumbs up button, because it really helps. And I know it seems a bit weird to do it on a live, but it still really helps. So if you get the chance, give this video a thumbs up now, and I'd love you forever for it. Rebecca says, I don't watch Tiger King, but I heard it's what most people are. It's what most people are like where I live. Oh dear. Yeah, I just hope people don't think everyone in America's like that. I don't know, you're not Rebecca, so that's all that matters. Let's have a look. Oh, Rebecca says on day 5 of the serum review. Yeah, definitely check it out, because I'm really I'm going to buy it if it's as good as it's looking so far. C powder. Oh, we've just had that quote. Well, we had it earlier. I would mix it with a moisturizer rather than a serum. I think there's too much in serums that could interact with it, like niacinamide and things like that. I personally would turn it into a serum by mixing it with a moisturizer, just putting it on, letting it sink in, and then going on with your serum. You can do it as part of that serum step. It's absolutely fine. Dominique says, is an SPF spray sufficient for a second application? Yes. I don't like sprays for a number of reasons. My main reason for not liking sprays is you spray this and you spray every sun lounger going. You know, it's not just you that gets a gob full of sunscreen. It's, you know, people they're enjoying their kebab on the beach 3 doors down, and you've sprayed them, and the wind carries it over here, and you've, attacked everyone with your SPF down there. So I don't like sprays when I'm outside. Inside, easy to apply. I think it's less precise. So my issue with a spray is it's less precise, so you don't know where you're targeting. So what I would say is it's fine if you're doing it as a second application. Do a spray because you've already got a base layer of SPF, and they say you should apply every 2 hours, but don't be under the illusion that on the stroke of that second hour it disappears and it stops working. It still will be providing some protection, so you don't need to be as precise with your application after the first application of SPF. So yeah, second application, great, but I would use a cream as your first SPF application. Let's have a look. MJ said, I love your content. Skincare is an investment and it works. I just wish the products were not as overpriced. Yeah, do you know one thing I've really learned by doing this channel? MJ, sorry, I don't know where you live, but it is really expensive in some countries to buy skincare. So this is why I stopped actually including prices in a lot of the videos, because I'll say something like, oh, this is a drugstore price. It's £9 here in the UK. And then someone from Canada will say, oh, it's 48 Canadian dollars. I'm like, wow, oh, wow. Or I think there's usually the prices in the US and the UK are broadly similar when you take into account the exchange rate. We kind of have similar pricing. But we're wildly different in Canada and Australia. Like sometimes really good. Like some people have said, oh, in Australia that's only like the equivalent of £5 and I'm paying 15. But sometimes it is ridiculously expensive. So I think Canada and Australia are where like it seesaws massively with the price of different products. And then obviously the rest of the world, it just depends on the availability of it. And like you say, the cost of getting it to these countries. But I am almost time to put on the mask. It is on. It is on. I am tingling and it is tightening, which means it's doing its job. I love this mask. I actually really, for Simple, which I love because it's cruelty free and it's British made. So if you're in the UK, Simple, this is available. I got this in Tesco for £5. So in the supermarkets, they're really good. It's the Detox and Brighten Clay Mask. Try it out if you, this is not for anyone other than the oily skin. If you try this out and you're dry, it will strip your skin. So just if you're oily, but it's a really great mask. And it's a really great mask to like, if anyone's in their teens or has maybe teenage sons, daughters that are struggling a little bit with excess oil and maybe want to do a face mask. I think we use the wrong face masks often in our teens, and we're slapping on the hydrating face masks or the really complex ones, and that's not what our skin needs. Sometimes our skin needs to just draw out some of that oil and grease and debris. This is a really good affordable product that you could get like son, daughter, yourself, whatever, as a really good way of just getting rid of some excess oil. Andrea says, loads of people saying, watch every video even if we don't comment. Thank you so much, guys. Do you know what? It means the world when people watch the content. I know that some videos, if I put them up within 24 hours, which I always think you should see something over a 24-hour period because kind of, you don't know, different upload times and things matter. But over a 24-hour period, some videos I upload get 500 views, some get 150. And it's those 150 hardcore that I know watch every video that I love to the bottom of my soul. I love everybody that watches any of the videos, just one, but those are the hardcore and I really appreciate everything and it's amazing. And those that casual viewers, I think it's great. I just need to win you round as an every video viewer. That'll be my mission. Jenny says, looking forward to hearing the thoughts on the hair care. Yeah, I'm going to be seeing it very much as a scalp thing because hair, like the hair itself, like I say, isn't my thing. But I think the hair grows out of the scalp. So if you've got good scalp care, I do think that leads to better hair overall. So definitely looking forward to filming that. Rebecca says it's 2 p.m. here. I wish I was in Florida. I went on holiday to Florida before all this kicked off. I went, was it last November. Went on a cruise. Went on celebrity, yeah, celebrity cruises, which was amazing. I loved it. Went to Florida. I loved Florida. Everything about it. Went to Disneyland for one day just so we could say we'd done it. And I was chronically ill. I had laryngitis. I couldn't, but I still had an amazing. Someone asked me the other day, like, we were doing like a Q&A, and someone said, what was like the saddest moment of your life? Well, after that, we went to Florida, loved Florida, and then we flew to Vegas. We flew on, I think it was called Spirit Airlines, very basic airline. Actually, really nice staff. My best friend is obsessed with Celine Dion, and I am obsessed with Cher. So we were like, double whammy, let's just do it. And I got laryngitis when I was in Florida. And the saddest moment of my life was when Cher came on, and I went to scream with every other gay man in the audience because, you know, she's got a demographic of Cher, bless her, women and gay men in the audience loving it. And she was amazing. And she came on in the most fantastic outfit, and I went to scream, I love you, Cher, and nothing came out. I totally lost my voice, and it was the best concert I've ever been to, and the only concert I sat silently through the whole time because my throat was on fire. I still loved it, but I couldn't say a word. So that was my last memory of the States. So I need to go back, redo Vegas when I'm not ill. Let's have a look. Oh, Laura Mason says, oh, a question I'd love an answer to. What time in the UK do you wash your face and do your night routine? I'm always worried I'm taking my sunscreen off too early. So this is a really, really good question, actually. A lot of people say when should and shouldn't I do my skincare routine. I don't think you should ever do your skincare routine just before you get to bed because I like to give it half an hour to do its work. So what I tend to do is wash my face around 9 o'clock. I then go to bed at 10 o'clock. So I do my half an hour skincare, self-care, chill, you know, time. That isn't just doing skincare. That's like having a cup of tea, messing around with the dog, you know, just having a nice chill session. Then I get into bed and I watch a film or watch some Netflix and chill, do whatever I want to do, and then go to bed at 10. So I think about an hour before you go to bed is the right time to do your skincare, but you can actually do it. You know, the sun goes down, the sun is at its strongest between 11 and 4, usually, in wherever in the world you are. Usually that period is when it's at its most intense, which is when you have to have your sunscreen on. After that, it's less intense. And I always think if you're taking your sunscreen off at 7 and it doesn't get dark in the UK now till 8:30, you're absolutely fine because a little bit of exposure doesn't do to that low level sun doesn't do a lot of damage and helps with the vitamin D increase. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I wouldn't. Let's see. So Kevin Redmond. Kevin, welcome to that first time on the chat. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying it. Oh, you got the time zones wrong, so I'm coming in at the end of the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, look, welcome anyway. Look, it's nice to have you. You might be late, but I always say better late than never. So welcome. And next week, hopefully, you'll be able to join us at the earlier time. We always overrun anyway, so if you've got a question, leave it because we're going to carry on till. Oh, Jay says, what is on the Friday night menu? Well, I went to the shops today, like a lot of around here in the UK, like a lot of older people, especially if they've got underlying health condition. I think it's if you're over 75 and if you've got a underlying health condition, you've been told to stay in until like the worst of the virus has passed. And it's kind of getting to the stage where they can leave the home now. But for the past like 12 weeks, well, it's been really bad. A couple of the older ladies around where I live haven't been able to go and get their shopping, and online shopping was like booked up, and their family live quite far away. So I've been going and doing their shopping for them on a Friday, which is like a mission. It takes me like 4 hours with 3 different trolleys, and I'm reading off like so. Basically, none of them get what they want. I mix up all the shopping lists, so I think it's basically just like a lottery. They just get food, but they actually say they like it because they've been introduced to new stuff because I've been putting the wrong things in the wrong basket. But it takes a mission, and then I do like my shopping at the end. By the time I do my shopping, I'm so fed up of shopping, I literally just throw anything in and done. I spent like £100 on shopping today, which lasted me for the full week. And so I spent £100. I was like, yes, I'm on it. I've spent my money. It's all good. I've got so much to eat. And actually, I just really fancy takeaway. So that is absolutely not what you should do. But I think we're probably going to have takeaway. I've got friends, like I said, I'm going to friends. It'll be a Chinese probably. It'll probably be Chinese. And I am so boring when it comes to Chinese food. I always go for chow mein with the little prawns in. I'm not that adventurous, but that is probably what's on the menu, and it'll probably be sloshed down with some boxed wine and have a lovely evening. And I think as long as the company's perfect, who cares what you're eating? But what's everyone else having? Anything in more? Can you beat my dodgy Chinese chow mein, which I'll get from a takeaway that I'm not even that sure I like that much, but it doesn't matter because I'm in, and If you've asked, yes, I will. I watched this video back and I make notes. So note to self, buy that and try it. Yeah, I love vitamin C serums. I always stick to the vitamin C powder by the ordinary because that's just to me works best with my lifestyle, my skin, and I love it. But I love a good serum because so many people don't want to have to mix their own powder. So I love to recommend serums. So yeah, definitely, I will try that out for you. Prepa Thapper says, "Hi Rob, any suggestions for sunscreens around the eyes that don't sting?" Yeah. So anyone that's ever had stinging around the eye when they apply sunscreen is just a reaction. So chemical sunscreens have oxybenzones, things like that can just really irritate the eye area. You have to put sunscreen on your eyelids. Do you know the increased incidence of skin cancers on the tops of the ears and on the eyelids? It's because people just don't apply sunscreen there, either because they forget or it's uncomfortable. Mineral will probably be your friend. Aven do a really good mineral sunscreen that is basically dermatologically tested as it comes. A friend of mine has really bad rosacea and chapped skin, and that doesn't irritate at all. So mineral will be your friend because it's got less of the chemicals to cause that stinging. And I'll go with the Aven. I think it's fantastic, and that should be great. You can use it all over the face, but definitely on the eyelids, it'll stop some of that burning. I also find, actually, because I do get a little bit of burning with sunscreen sometimes if you use the wrong one, the Purito Comfy Water that I'm using is 70% water, so it's hydrating and it's got very few chemicals in to interact, and it is mineral. So maybe try that out because I think that could work on the eyelids. I've never had any issues with it. Annika says, here in Sweden, the sun even shines at night during summer. It never gets dark. Oh well, I can't relate. I can't relate here in the UK. That's a really good point. If you live quite north, you will get year round. My brother is dating someone from Norway, where it's basically 24-hour daylight in summer and 24-hour night time in winter. They live quite the far north. Gorgeous country, eh? With retinol, you can absolutely use it. I say use retinol at night. The reason for using it at night isn't because of the photosensitivity that it can cause, because you should be using an SPF to counter that anyway. The reason that you should use retinol at night is because vitamin A degrades when it comes into contact with sunlight. So if you're putting it on in the morning and you're walking out into the sun, even if you've got the best SPF on in the world, it's not going to be getting the benefit of it because it's degrading and you're not going to be getting the potency of retinol. Even if you are getting a little bit of sunlight with your retinol, it's just going to maybe reduce the efficiency of it a little bit, but it's not going to have a massive difference, so don't panic. AR says, I'm glad I didn't miss this. Your skin is glowing. It's this face mask. But thank you. This face mask is life. I love this. But thank you very much. I feel like it's taken me to my mid-30s to admit that I'm mid-30, but also to actually really love my skin. And so I say to anyone younger that's maybe something with acne, like, it does genuinely get better and you will learn to love your skin. And don't abuse it with apricot scrub like I did every day of my teens, because the skin won't thank you for it in the long run. Kevin has a question. Thanks for the warm welcome. I'm a flight attendant, so I think I get the time change right, but didn't realise that England is on the summertime. Oh, yeah, Kevin, yeah. So we have like 2 time zones. So we're not Greenwich Mean Time, which is like GMT, which is what all other times are based off and goes straight through the UK. We don't even observe in the summer. We go like an hour before, so that makes sense. But as a flight attendant, skincare is like a must, because if you've ever been on a plane, it's like, I did a video ages ago on skincare on a plane, so how to, like, what skincare you should do. I watched back, it was one of my first videos. Oh, it's cringe. If you want to know like how far this channel's come, I like to think for the better, but leave me a hate comment if you want. And check back that like skincare on a plane video I did. It was like the 5th or 6th video I did. It's like a 20-minute cringe fest. You could tell how nervous I was, and oh no, absolute nightmare. Awful video. But good, because I do think sometimes watching back your own videos and seeing how far you've come, if you're feeling like a video that you film isn't good enough, you look back at the stuff and you can see how far you've come. So check that out. But I am going to do an updated flight skincare routine. I've been wanting to do it for ages, but with everyone being in lockdown and no one able to fly, it kind of feels a little bit like, you know, salt in the wound. Like, when you can fly, this is what you should do. So I've decided not to do it until people are able to travel more, but I will be doing an updated one. So hopefully in the near future, the flight attendant will be, and you will be able to benefit from that. Andrea says, I'm curious, are chapsticks with SPF different than just putting SPF there? If you should always put SPF on your lips. Take it onto your lips. There's no excuse not to. Chapsticks with SPF, bit gimmicky, but it has more hydrating elements in. You've got to be super careful with chapsticks because some of them can actually dry the skin of your lips out. I personally would not spend extra money on a chapstick with SPF. I get rid of it and I would just put my sunscreen on. Even on your lips, you need factor 30 or above. So a lot of them are a bit gimmicky in that sense. But Ultra Sun do a really good chapstick that's not only hydrating and super good for your lips, but also has a really good SPF in. So if you haven't, check that out because Ultra Sun are an amazing, amazing sun care brand anyway, but their chapstick is really, really good. Jay says, helping me. It's nice to be helping the seniors. I try. They are lovely people. They are very specific. I have never known, like, I just go in and I buy what I fancy. I realise maybe as you get older, and when I mean old, I mean these people in their 80s, they're all lovely, but they're like super specific with it. One of them wanted macadamia nuts from Brazil. Great. So can't come from Peru, or it has to come from Brazil. I don't know what the difference between Brazilian macadamia nuts and any other nut in the world is, but they wanted them from Brazil. I'm like, okay. So it does take me they're very specific with their lists. So it does take me a long time, which is why, like today, I think I was there for like 5 hours. Laura said, thank you for the answer to the question. It's a pleasure, Laura. B, welcome. Thanks for joining us on the chat. How many times a week would I recommend a salicylic acid or a vitamin C mask? Well, depends on the concentration. So if you're using salicylic mask by the ordinary, that's 2% salicylic acid. So it's no different than just using a serum. So you could use that every single day. It depends on what your skin needs. If you're super oily and in your teens and you want to balance that oil and get rid of some of the blackheads, then you could use a 2% salicylic acid every single day as your exfoliator. I wouldn't use glycolic on top of that. If you want to do it as a weekly treatment, you can absolutely use your glycolic every day of the week and then use it as a treatment once a week, twice a week. Depends on your skin. Vitamin C, I would say if you are using a daily vitamin C serum, I would just use a vitamin C mask once a week because you're using a serum. If you are just using vitamin C masks, so you don't use a serum every day, twice, 3 times a week, it's absolutely fine. Depends on your skin type. The more sensitive you are, the more reactive your skin is, the less you should be using it, if that makes sense. But salicylic acid, if anything with a 2% salicylic acid in, it's safe to use every single day if you're very oily, but just make sure you're not doubling up and doing a mask and a serum because that's when you can get into some trouble. Danny says, hey Danny, welcome to the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. What do I think about the Spanish song from... I don't know. I've never heard of it, but again, I'm going to listen because I love watching this back because I basically that evening is often spent just watching this back and Google different European music. Anyone that's ever watched the Eurovision Song Contest, which is like a cheese fest of a song contest here in the UK, but now in Australia and Canada, you can see it in Canada now as well. And I did hear that Canada wants to join. So if you haven't seen it, YouTube, like, what is the Eurovision Song Contest? And it'll blow your mind. Basically, I love all sort of different song genres from different countries and hearing different songs. Ours are always absolutely rubbish. The UK entry, why we bother, I don't know. But I like to see other songs. So I will Google that and YouTube it and see. Jenny says, thank you so much for answering our questions. I love watching lives. Oh, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us. Like, honestly, I could keep going for hours. I was so nervous when I did the first one of this, like, so nervous. And now it just feels like I'm chatting to, like 50 people in a living room. It's really nice. I love these, and I don't know why you don't see them done that often by YouTubers, which I think is a shame because it's super easy. You can do it on your phone. I'm just on my phone here in my living room. You do it on your phone. I think once you've done the first one, broke down the nerves, it's so much easier. I love these, and it also kind of means it's cheating because you don't have to film a video because it's kind of a video and it goes up afterwards so people can watch it. And these are some of my most watched videos, which I really didn't expect. I thought, watched by the people that watch it, come and join me on the live, great. But I didn't think anyone would actually tune in afterwards, but people do, and it's like last week's one got like 450 people watched it afterwards, which is like mind-blowing. So it's lovely that people really enjoy them, and I love doing them, and more YouTubers should do them because it's really easy because you don't have to think about what you're going to film. You just sit down and chat to people, and it's a video that goes up and people watch it. So it's win-win. I don't know why more people don't do them. I love them. Do I have any... Alicia says, recommendations for acne scars? Yes. I think I'm going to do a whole video on acne scarring because it does keep coming up. I've done ones kind of on pigmentation and acne scarring, but I don't know. Your first bet should always be looking at an azelaic acid. It depends what you mean by scar. Do you mean the mark, the pigmentation that's left behind, or do you mean an actual scar, a pit in the skin? If it's hyperpigmentation, azelaic acid is going to be your friend. You could use the dark spot correct by Differin. That's also fantastic at drawing out areas of darkness in the skin that you want to take away. You've had a pimple and it's not healed properly. Azelaic acid will just be an amazing exfoliator for. So what I would recommend is up your exfoliation game. So make sure you're on top of your exfoliation, because the more layers of the skin you can remove, obviously the shallower that's going to appear, which is good. And using things like niacinamide to brighten the area will help kind of create an optical illusion, so it doesn't look as deep or as protruding as a scar. But really, if you have got scarring, and I mean like actual scarring as opposed to pigmentation issues, the best thing you can do is light therapy and laser therapy. They have to be done in a dermatologist's office. If I see people doing home lasering, I saw a video of this on YouTube the other day, just a side note, if I see anybody home lasering, I will come to your home and personally smash your laser machine. For A, it's probably so weak it's not doing anything, or B, it's probably actually destroying your skin. So either way, it's either a waste of money or damaging. Never home laser. But it's a really good treatment to go into the dermatologist's office and have done, because it'll really help with the pigmentation. It'll help with taking away some of the indentation in the skin. And collagen, of course, is a really good thing. Often we get scars and pits because we have a lack of collagen. The best way to encourage collagen growth in the skin is by pumping the skin full of peptides, which act as like receptors and triggers to tell the skin to produce more collagen. So the Inculus Collagen Booster is really good as a peptide serum, or in your life, and you should be good. But I'll do a whole video on it. That's just like a taster. Laura says, enjoy your evening and weekend. Thank you, Laura. Enjoy your evening. Have a wonderful weekend. It's going to brighten up here in the UK, so hopefully we'll have a bit of garden action. Naomi said, says, I recently got Retin A for hyperpigmentation and acne scars. What's your take on Retin A? Retin A. I love Retin A. I think it's a fantastic. It's just super strength retinol. It's the closest ingredient wise to retinoic acid, which is what your skin has to transfer any retinol product to in order to work. So it's the most potent, it's the most powerful. So you use it with caution. You will get a little bit of you get a lot of dryness at the first. So make sure you buffer it with plenty of moisturizer, and make sure you use it once a week, twice a week, and build up like that. It's fantastic for acne scars. It's fantastic at texture in the skin. It's not going to work. Don't be disappointed when it doesn't work straight away. We're talking about 6 months before you start seeing a reduction in your acne scars. But I think if you've had them and lived with them for years, what's 6 months? I always look at it like that. Skincare is a long-term journey. But yeah, Retin A is fantastic for hyperpigmentation and acne scars. Ayaz says, I love watching Eurovision. I was in Portugal when they won. It was a blast. I love Eurovision. Anybody that does... Rebecca says, I like doing live streams. I love your live streams, actually. Always the time difference means I have to usually watch them on repeat. I don't actually get to see them in person, but I'm going to do my best to see the next one. Yeah, I don't know how often people want live streams. I do them once a week because I love end of the week chill chat, but it's up to you. I think once a week is optimum. For me, like once a month, it kind of, people want that regularity, they know when to tune in. So I think once a month makes it a bit difficult. I think any more than once a week and it kind of becomes a bit samey. I don't know. So let me know what you think regularity wise. B Fleming says, thanks so much. I wish I was a teenager. Oh, I do. I hated my teen years skin wise. I loved my teen years, like friends and school and everything, but I hated my skin in my teen years. I would go back in a heartbeat and I would do everything differently. Daniel says, I'm back. Welcome back, Dan. Tom says, you're the best, Rob. Thanks for sharing your time and life. Tom, it's a pleasure. We have run over chronically, as we always do. I will do one last shout out. If you haven't already, click the thumbs up button on this. That would really helps. Apparently, I'm learning all about the YouTube algorithm. And apparently, they push your video out to more people that they think might enjoy it and watch it if it gets a good thumbs up. And people who have watched it have good feedback, and apparently they judge that on the number of comments, even hate comments. They just look at comments. Leave me some hate, it's fine. It still does well for the video, and the number of likes. So it does really help. So if you ever get the chance to like a video, that would be amazing. George, welcome. George says, any recommendations for puffy under eyes and dark circles? Also, favorite SPF available in the UK? Yes, really quick. SPF available in the UK, Purito Comfy Water. It's South Korean, but that doesn't matter because you can buy it on Best of Seoul website here in the UK, is where I got it. £15, free delivery, amazing. You can buy it on loads of other, I think it's got it on Cult Beauty now. That's like the best sunscreen, hands down, no questions asked. I did a review on it if you want to check that out, but it's just amazing. It's mineral, it's lightweight, you don't know you're wearing it, and it's super hydrating. I love it. Nothing's going to change my mind. Well, till something better comes along. But at the moment, nothing will change my mind. And what for puffiness under the eyes and dark circles? Yes. The 3 things that you need to do for puffiness under eyes is a massage. So get yourself some cleanser, just a slippery cleanser will do. You don't even have to do a full face massage if you don't want that, I'd recommend it. And circular motions. So go around like that, pushing into the inner tear duct, because the tear duct is where your lymphatic nodes are, your lymph nodes are, so that's where it drains some of that puffiness and that water retention away. Yeah, the ordinary caffeine solution is 5%, really good. It's £5, so it's amazing. Put that on, leave it on for 5 minutes, and you can wash it off if you want to put concealer on, because it's hard to put concealer over it. If you don't wear concealer, leave it on and let it do its work, and honestly, you will see a difference like that. Caffeine solution, massage, and drink plenty of water. I think a lot of people think water retention, don't drink as much water, you won't have water retention. Rubbish. You need to keep your lymph system going, and that's by drinking loads of water. Irfan says, which product should I use to get rid of pimple spots? If you're trying to get rid of the hyperpigmentation, honestly say, if you've got pimples and rather than acne, you just got pimples, the best thing you can honestly do is forget some of the drying lotions and things like that. Get the salicylic acid mask by The Ordinary. Use that 2 or 3 times a week, and your skin will adore you for it. And honestly, in about 2 weeks, you'll see a noticeable reduction in the amount of pimples that you're getting. It's a fantastic product. Can't rave about it, but I used to love their 2% serum, but it's out of stock everywhere, and I don't know when they're bringing it back. JCC Skate says, having a lot of trouble with my skin reacting ever since I branched out. I think your comment caught up. Branched out to I did a video on purging, so it might be that you're having a purge if you try new products, so check that video out about how to deal with purging or how to spot it. Sometimes we do branch out in our skincare, and it's really disappointing when we try a product we think is going to help, or we're told will help, and it makes the situation worse. As unfortunately a fact of life, you do have to a little bit of trial and error, but watch the purging video, because that'll kind of give you an idea of whether what you're suffering with is acne or purging, and how to kind of deal with that. Naomi says, thanks for answering. Thank you for watching, Naomi. The rest of your messages here. So having trouble with skincare ever since I branched out to new things. Even my old skin products burn and sting my skin. What can I do? Stop everything. That seems to me like a reaction. One of the things you can do is, if you've ever looked at things like exclusion diets, so when you don't know if you're allergic to something, you exclude everything and then slowly introduce it. Go back to basics. Just use a cleanser and a moisturizer. That is it. Start that for a week. Give your skin a chance to settle. A cleanser should be fragrance-free and colorant-free. Let your skin settle, and then go back into slowly introducing products once at a time. Once you've done that for a week, I would then introduce an exfoliator to see if that use that for a week with your cleanser and your moisturizer. Hi guys, I'm running out of time and battery on my phone, so I'm just going to whiz through the comments to see if there's any that I've missed. Let's have a look. Then we've got Annika says, can I alternate tretinoin with retinaldehyde? Yeah, you absolutely can. You can alternate it. Just be really careful that you leave maybe a day in between them, because you don't want to really have that super strength reaction to it. So I hope that helps, but I would buffer it with a day of nothing in between, because it's super strength and you don't want to create any irritation or anything in the skin. Well guys, I thank you so much. It's just brightened up, as if this is the weather gods calling me outside for my boxed wine. Thank you so much for joining us on this chat. I hope you found it as useful, entertaining. I don't care, as long as you've got something out of it. That's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't already, subscribe, because what is your excuse for not? Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment once the video's up. Check it out, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you with any questions you have. Have a great weekend, guys, and wherever in the world you are, take care. See you in the next one. Bye.